We look good over here, so we should be okay. After all that, we finally ready to go. Got you situated.
Yeah, because I don't want to have to do this again.
You're not.
Hey, that's remember what my mama just said. We might bring that up. So hello everybody. Welcome to the HOTC podcast. I'm Flo.
I'm Q.
And this is going to be the very last episode when it comes to divorce. So yeah, it's the last shoot. Hopefully we can get through this with ease. No tissues, no crying. Hopefully for us, I come out of this reborn because we're personally going through some stuff right now. So hopefully we can get some good advice to get us through it all. Yes, to glory, to God be the glory, as her shirt says. So hopefully he ordains this shoot today. Okay, first question is.
First thing is, we have Floydell's mother, Miss Wilson, Miss Thelma Wilson here with us. That's the first thing.
Okay.
What's up, Mama?
Hi, how are you?
Yeah. Good, I'm doing okay. I'm doing all right. I'm just eager to get into this. I forgot to
Okay, now let's go.
All right. So, the origin of you and my dad's relationship. Let's talk about that.
Okay. Is the origin you just want to know? Or is there a question?
No, tell us.
What is it? How did you guys come to be?
We were attending California State of Fresno. I had been there, I think, 2 years before he got there. And we had stayed in the same dormitory. We met in the university's, the first time I saw him was at the university's cafeteria. I personally was trying to hook him up with a friend of mine, to be honest with you. And somehow it backfired. That didn't happen. So that's how we met.
Okay. It backfired. It sounds like a bad thing. Is it a bad thing or a good thing?
No. It's just that I wanted her to have him, but me being a friend, I kind of felt bad because that's where it was supposed to have gone. But I heard of me.
But she was the one that liked my dad.
No, I was just trying to tell her you should go talk to him, and she was like,
Oh, okay, gotcha. And she was a junior with you also?
It's 2 years. No, I was a sophomore.
Oh, okay. Okay, you were a sophomore when my dad showed up.
Yeah, and I was a sophomore. Yes.
Oh, okay. This whole time I thought you were a junior.
I don't believe I was.
Oh, okay.
Now, you know, that was so long ago.
Okay.
What?
Your turn.
My turn to what? I'm still waiting for the rest of the story. That's how she first met him and her intentions. But how did you guys get together? I'm still waiting.
The relationship just started from there. From us, we went on trips, went to the Yosemite, went to the movies. That was our first date. It was the movies.
Oh.
I believe it was in October.
October was a good month.
I guess.
So,
October 23rd, when y'all went to the movies. Was that the date?
You know, that date sounds awfully familiar.
Oh, wow.
But also sounds like somebody's birthday, too.
You said what?
Huh?
You said
that also sounds like someone's birthday.
I said October was a good month. I mean. Okay, so.
What did you guys go see? You remember?
You know, at the time of dating and of marriage, I knew it because I used to quiz him with it, but now I don't remember.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So you introduce yourself to him on behalf of a friend and talk to him on behalf of a friend, and then ended up developing a relationship
Yeah.
with him personally. So then,
Yes.
how did marriage come in from that?
Did marriage come into that? Well, that's a good. How? What do you mean? How did it come? It just
So the
a
evolution
relationship.
of your friendship into marriage.
Marriage.
How did?
That came after. See, I remember when it happened, the proposal,
Okay.
but that was in India. I want to say it was at one of the churches, because they all look the same to me right now, but I believe it was First Baptist.
Okay.
Okay.
For some reason, I want to say Caracas because Reverend Mac Peters was there.
Oh. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
and your father had a speech about diamonds and diamonds being the girl's best friend, and I had to leave Florida because he was in the carrier,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I gave him to his mom, or his mom came
Mm-hmm.
and watched him as I walked up.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was in the church.
Yeah, I remember that.
He remembers that.
Yeah, very vivid.
You remember that?
No, I
Do you really?
no. No.
No.
So you guys were dating, and then it led to the proposal. So of course that's evolution, that is blending, that's coming together. That doesn't happen instantaneously, but over time. So when did you know that when or if that would happen, you would say yes?
Well, prior to that, there was some little tension between my parents and him, but I remember telling him at the apartment that you probably remember, the one in Clovis, Willow, that
That came before Pete.
I felt safe with him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I remember saying that. So it just grew from there.
Okay. So what you just referenced seemed like there's foreshadowing to come, because we are talking about divorce. So what was the cause or the root, or whatever you want to call it, of the disconnect? Because when you come into marriage, everyone's blending and coming together, but obviously there's a disconnect, but yet there was a still come together between you and my dad. So what was like the cause of the disconnect? Did it have any
The tension
residual?
between your dad and her parents?
Yeah.
Okay.
And did it any residual effects that could have possibly led to the end of the marriage?
The end of the marriage. Looking back at it, it was just certain things that my father did not appreciate what your dad did. And now being a little older and wiser, I'm not for sure if your father ever asked my dad for my hand.
Oh, okay.
It was never spoken, but this is the man-to-man thing,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure about that, but there was some tension because before you, I was pregnant already, which I had lost that baby, and then I had you. So there was tension because my parents wanted me to had a different route for me. but I took what I wanted. So I guess you can say that was a little selfish, but it's what I wanted. So at that time, being young.
So you mean a different route, as in Papa is the type of person that you need to get married first before you have a child? For the people watching, I've gotten in trouble twice with Papa for taking that type of route.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That's
Yeah.
understandable.
And then because I remember as a child, he said, you get pregnant. Before I went to college, oh, you're going to take care of it. I ain't taking care of it.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. So I wouldn't say it was selfish. I would take it as you're living your life, because at the end of the day, you're the one that has to live it. No one can live it for
That's true. And that's what I told y'all. Y'all got to walk with yourselves every day, 365, and got to be happy with yourself.
you. Yeah.
I take it as another side of it, not doing what they expected me to do. I wanted to do me.
Mhm. Yeah, and even in doing
Even
that,
though I was still under them, under their guidance and direction.
Right.
gotcha. Uh-oh, something's happening.
Yeah, my phone.
Is it connection or?
No, hopefully it'll stop.
What will stop?
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
What was I saying?
You didn't really. You just kind of surmised what she was saying.
Yeah.
You guys agreed on the fact that you
Yeah,
have to
so
walk.
exactly. So basically, you live out your life and you learn from the decisions that you make. That's pretty much
Yes.
what it is. I mean, as parents, I can understand trying to control the atmosphere and everything that's coming at your child, but at the same time, the mentality and the ego needs to set in reality that you can't do that.
Right.
So it's something I'm slightly struggling with myself right now. Like, you can't control every little thing. So some things you just gotta give it up to God and let him guide you through that journey.
Yeah.
So you guys
Exactly.
so you accepted the proposal. I assume you cried and was happy.
Yes.
Okay, cried and happy. So drink.
I don't know if I cried. I don't know, but yes.
She was happy.
Okay.
Yes. I
If the
was
dream
happy.
comes true, you're with the person that you feel safe and comfortable with. And so what was it? What did you guys do to prepare you for marriage? Because now I'm like 1 or something, or a few months.
You were born in August. We got married in December. So you were a year and some months. You were almost 16 months old.
Okay.
Because you were in the wedding.
So a year and 4 months. All right. So
Yeah.
also from then, like, what steps did you guys take to prepare you for a lasting, long, happy marriage?
Oh, well, wanted to make sure you had everything you needed,
Mm-hmm.
which you did, and then some. With help from my parents also.
Oh, contradiction.
Huh?
You have a baby, you gonna take care of it. Now they involved in helping out. That's good. Coming around.
Yes. And yeah, because a little side story, you were 6 months old and had never been away from us, and they wanted you for about a couple of months. So yeah, they had a lot of fun with you.
Okay, cool.
But just um, just preparing for you for your foundation.
Okay, cool.
You were the only one for a good while, for 2 years.
So there was no, you guys prepared for him and his foundation, but there was no preparation for the marriage, like premarital counseling or seeing a counselor.
No.
Okay.
No. Mm-mm. Never went like you said, premarital counseling. No, we didn't do that because we were living in Fresno, in your father's church. Obviously, was Second Baptist, and I was in India. So, as far as marriage counseling, I just met Reverend Williams right before we were getting married. So, no, there was no pre.
Okay. So my dad was brought up in the church, so it's curious that that wasn't an option taken. Were you brought up in the church? Was it something that you wanted?
No, I was never brought up in the church. I attended church, but I was not brought up in the church. Yes, I did get baptized when I was younger, at my aunt's church. But as far as attending church like now, that is something your father instilled in me. It's something that he did, and I took on very passionately. So, no.
Okay.
At first,
okay. Hold that passionately part, because now we're going to get into the nitty gritty, the good stuff. Because you're taking on to the Bible, into spirituality, like full fledged, or however you want to put it. But it looked like my dad was here, you were here, you guys were probably equal when it comes to spirituality, attending church, and then my dad, from the visible eye, goes like this and not attending church as much. So with you getting more involved in the Bible, was there at any point understanding, like you found scriptures or anything like that in the Bible that related to marriage that you brought to my dad so you guys could talk about, or anything like that?
we didn't do any of that. Sorry to say.
Was there an attempt to?
I'm going to have to take the fifth and say I don't recall.
You did not recall. Got it. So, okay. So, because from me looking at it, and based on what you're telling me, I remember my dad going to church, and then he didn't go. He just didn't go. I assume that's because the commuting, driving 5 hours every single day, just tired and wants to relax, not do anything, get the body reacclimated for the upcoming week, whatever the case may be, which led to us doing travel ball. So then we didn't go to church every Sunday. So
but that was later. You were older then.
Yeah, I'm just breezing on past to get.
Okay.
So mother now works at Second Baptist. She's at church. She's always there, always doing something. My dad isn't at church. And so what caused such a division to where now you guys are not going to church together from your perspective, that probably or could have contributed to the separation?
Yeah, you're right. There was division of him not wanting to go, no interest in going, and I wanted to go, or having. See, there was a point where I wanted to go, and let me this back. Let's see this. If I can go to work on time every day, I should be able to go to church on time. If I can do that, I should go. But there was times, many a times, where I would have to if you probably remember, drive us, you and your brothers, and then have to come back and get your dad, which broke the momentum of church with me, the service.
Okay.
So then I just finally said, you know what, I will find someone to take us. And then I did. And it was fine. And then he was able to come when he felt like it, because I was still going to go. My kids were going to be in church. One way or another, they were going to grow up knowing the Lord, having some type of relationship.
Okay.
So as far as the decline on your father, I don't know. That's a question that's for him to answer.
Okay. So what would you say contributed to your guys' separation? What are the major factor things for you that contributed to it?
I got tired of being controlled. Got tired of not being heard, understood. Got tired of not feeling valued and appreciated.
Okay.
That's
Example. Like, what do you mean by not being heard, appreciated, supported?
Okay, not being support. Okay, like you said, we're talking about church. He never really appreciated me working at the church.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that important to him. It was just an ordinary job, which I personally, working for the Lord, that's the highest thing you can do. But for him, it wasn't that important.
Mm-hmm.
I would do things and then for him and not feel appreciated. It wasn't, not saying I'm asking for a thank you all the time, but at least some of the time.
Mm-hmm.
It was that. What was the other thing you mentioned? Supported, appreciated.
Control.
And controlling. I mean, it was, I had to be I had to look a certain way, almost had to speak a certain way, had to do things a certain way. And if it wasn't that his way, it was no other way.
It wasn't right.
Right. It wasn't right. It wasn't.
I get that from my dad.
To his satisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I connect with my dad on that. That's me. I see the way I see it, it's the way to go. But I'm working.
But you know what? There's always other ways to get it done. It's the end of it as long as it's done. It doesn't matter how you get it done, as long as that thing gets done.
Yeah.
So interesting to say he had the exact same conversation with a little miss that we both know, Yvonne. There's more than one way to do things, Yvonne. And this is me. Really.
So you need to take his own words, huh?
Oh, for sure I'm not, but it's okay.
But let's work on that. Let's work on that.
I'm working on it.
Especially so, you know who I am. So it's definitely a work in progress.
Yes. As long as you recognize it and correct it as quickly as possible, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
Just stubborn.
So at this point, we're going to bring in.
I heard that.
As I said, I'm just as stubborn as much as you can say, but my way. And I'm looking at you, yeah, but my way. So.
Compromise.
Yeah. So we're going to bring in just a little bit of the conversation that we had with my dad to get your response. So you said you had to wear things or wear certain clothes. That's one.
Yes.
Look a certain way.
Yes.
At any point, did you express to him that you don't
Yes.
want to look that way or in a certain way?
All the time. Yes.
Okay. Now, why?
Yes. And there were times that I did it just to, what's it called, stay face, have peace. And then there was other times it was like, no, and it will be an argument.
Now, why didn't you like to dress that particular way? Or what would you call that particular way?
How would you describe?
Yeah. How would you describe it?
A little sluttish,
Revealing?
revealing,
Okay. All right. That's
too revealing, too revealing.
okay.
I mean, I could do that in the house. It doesn't need to be outside.
Right.
Okay.
Everybody else don't need to see it. And
Gotcha.
this treasure is not for everybody.
Right.
It's just for one person.
Gotcha. So now I'm gonna go backwards. So when you were in college, how did you dress? How did my dad meet you? What did you look like?
Pretty much the way I dress now. Me dress now. And I do recall him remembering a skirt. Yeah, I had a skirt.
You had skirts.
A little jean skirt that he liked.
Got it.
But it wasn't an everyday thing.
Okay. Gotcha.
It was occasional.
No.
You can.
So in the conversation with Mr. Wilson, you said that, you know, there were times where you guys would go shopping together. And it's like, I like these clothes, try them on. Do you like these clothes? Yes. Okay, let's go buy these clothes. But my thought would be, if he's picking out clothes for you to try on, they would be the revealing sort, because that's what he likes. Then if you say, yes, we can buy those clothes, or why would you say yes to buying clothes that you feel are revealing if they're not comfortable? Or too revealing.
To prevent arguing. Prevent arguing.
To prevent an argument. So basically you said yes to appease him.
Mm-hmm.
But you forcefully silenced yourself to where he wouldn't know that you're uncomfortable with it.
I don't think that's a great way to put that.
Well, it's my mom just said to prevent an argument, so she's just gonna. I'm not saying nothing.
She was trying to prevent well, they say choose your battle, so she's trying to prevent her argument. That doesn't mean she's forcibly silencing herself. She might feel like she has to silence herself, so she's being forced. That's what I'm saying. That word probably isn't the very best to use in this particular situation.
To me, it's not mama chose, because I'm saying forcefully because she doesn't agree with it. She wants to say something, so she's forcing herself not to say anything. So she's choosing to be quiet.
Choosing works. She chose not to speak up to prevent an argument.
To make him happy.
Make him happy.
Okay.
Okay. Well, there you have that.
Yeah, interesting. So
it was control, appreciated. Control, appreciated. You also said, did you say see?
Heard.
Yeah, seen and heard.
Like he will make decisions, and the decisions were already made.
You had no input.
I had no input. They were already done. It didn't matter how I felt. Mm-hmm. It was already done. Mm-hmm. Solidified and processed. So
it was more of a, this is what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
Yeah, but he had said, well, you can say what you want to say, but it's still going to get done anyway.
That's an interesting way of putting it. You can say whatever you want to say, but it'll still get done. Your input is valuable?
No.
But
No.
We're twisting.
No.
No.
We're going to buy a house. I want to hear what you have to say, but when it's all said and done, we're still buying a house.
That's not this situation. This
That's
situation.
not the same. No.
No.
Make it
No,
plain,
no,
Mom.
no,
Make
no.
it plain then.
This situation is we're gonna buy a house in Northern
India.
California.
In India.
We're buying this house I already chose because I like the layout. And then your mom would be, I would prefer in this area because XYZ.
You're right.
This one.
India. You gotta be specific.
So we're buying a house in India.
But you wanna
It's
live-
a single level.
but you want to live in LA.
Yeah, it's a single level. It's basically, you can tell me whatever you want to, but it doesn't matter because we're buying this house in India.
Right. Right. See?
That's
it.
That-
So that's it. That's the example, right? You want to live in LA. He wants to live in India. You're living in India. Is that a pretty easier way to put it? Just for all the people, it's easier just to put it in that perspective.
yeah. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
basically, she was disregarded in her feelings.
Yeah, well, that's
Got it.
what we're talking about, not being heard.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So in a marriage, you have to express, love, not only by words, but by actions. So at any point in time, what would you say you did to do that, to express that in your marriage?
It's what love. Wow. I would do service. The five love languages. Affirming.
Did you know that then, or do you know that now?
No, I know it now. But now it was an act of service that I did get up before him or with him, made him breakfast or lunch, ironed his shirts, everything for him to go to work. Then lay down and get y'all ready. Exactly. Yeah.
What else?
I may not have said the words "I love you" all the time. No, I didn't, because sometimes
I get that from you.
I didn't. Because partially it's because I didn't feel love, but which I'm working on that now. But yeah, I would go when he asked for something. I was there. Like he needed something at the school, I would drive over there and go get it, or spend time with him in the classroom.
So you did acts of service, and you made sure you were available to support whenever he
Yes.
needed.
Mm-hmm.
That's showing love.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. So it sounds like the counseling would have helped, the pre-marriage counseling, or with your pastor, or with
Any
type of therapist
couples
or whatever.
Counseling.
Yeah, couples therapy. Because based on the previous conversation, there's confusion on what the 5 love languages are for each of you. Because you're saying you would do acts of service, but for Dada, he doesn't understand acts of service. He needs words of affirmation. So there was the disconnect. You guys are throwing love at each other, but you guys don't understand it because it doesn't attach to you the way that it should. Because my dad, my dad was gifts.
Yes, he did do that.
Random stuff, spa dates, and all of that. But for you, that's like, I don't need that.
Mm-hmm.
Your love language.
It wasn't bad, but
okay.
So your love language is what? what is your love language? Because speaking with data, it seemed like acts of service and physical touch were like the top two.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
but
Mine is quality time, act of service.
no, this just your top two.
It's funny because I just took the test again and I can't remember it. Let's go with those two. I can't remember.
Which would make sense that, and not knowing everyone has their own love language, you were giving him your love languages. So
Right.
What you
and
want to
acts of
receive.
service.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes sense because that's what most people do until they are educated. Otherwise, that might be theirs. Oh, really?
Oh, really? Okay. I was like, I was doing that already. Oh, okay.
Right. So.
Wow. Well, I think it's about time that we go to another topic. We switch it on over because this particular topic is a very important and imperative one. Being that Father's Day is past, that's okay. All the holidays have passed. We have some that are coming up, or you just want to surprise somebody with a gift. So it's always a good thing to go ahead and just go to Jetlag, right? Jetlaggo.com is the place that you want to be at. Why? Because they provide something that's just so beautiful, it's so wonderful. It is wallets. These wallets are exceptional. They're sleek, they're classy, and they fit about 6 to 7 different cards in here. So the beauty of it is it condenses your wallet. You don't have anything bulky, big. Leather wallets are just ripping away. You're losing your IDs because the slots, they're just too loose now. So everything is literally leaving you. It's walking away. It's going away. But with Jetlag, it stays right there with you. Sleek and compact, beautiful. Just go to jetlaggo.com, and you just use my promo code. My promo code is
Floydell_15.
There you go. It'll get you 15% off. Make sure you do it. Upgrade your man's wallet. He's going to appreciate it. He will.
And that's jetlaggo.com. Promo code Floydell_15 for 15% off.
There you go. 15% off. It's so wonderful.
And they ship pretty quickly too.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah. Orders in the US, free shipping as well. So yeah.
Alrighty.
So moving right along.
Back to the topic at hand.
Yes. Yes, indeed. So there are tough questions, right? There's tough questions to deal with when it comes to the end of a marriage. You start to reflect and wonder. So I'm going to ask you this. Do you love my dad?
I love him. I'm not in love with him, but I love him.
Okay, that's good. Explain that love.
I love him. He's the father of my young men. Can't say boys no more. I'm a 3 young men. But as far as being in love with him, having some type of connection with that.
Gotcha. So the turning point. So those are the reasons for the separation. So what was the turning point to where divorce is on the table and we're taking this option?
Well, your father filed. We were already separated, and pretty much separated even though we were in the same house. You were in college at that time. Houston Tillotson University.
Go Rams.
Yes. But it started there. Shortly after you leaving the separation.
Okay. Why? What was the reason for, as some people would say, giving up? Throwing in the towel.
It was too much anger that was displayed. from your father, and towards me. So it's time to go. When you get to that point, there's no need to stay.
Anger about what?
There was a situation involving Florida that came up, and he got mad, and I knew about it, and I kept it away until Florida wanted it to be known,
Mm-hmm.
and it blew up. And he's smiling. He knows what it is.
What situation is that? That's
Oh,
Elon?
yeah. The people know.
Yeah,
Okay, Elon.
People know.
Got it.
yeah. So
But
yeah.
would you say that's a? Would you say the expression was justified because regardless, you guys are together and supposed to be a unit, and the secret was withheld for 5 to 6 months?
You're gonna have to repeat. I couldn't hear your whole complete question.
I was saying, do you think the expression was justified because you're still one unit, regardless of what y'all had talked about or whatever the case may be? You guys are still one unit in the eyes of God and according to the law of this land. So you guys are supposed to be one unit. So would you say the expression is justified because a secret was withheld for nearly half a year?
That's a good question. You mean are you trying to say, you're asking me, was the secret, me withholding the secret was justified?
No,
His
the question,
response,
yeah.
his response
So-
is justified because you withheld.
Oh, the response of me having the,
Yeah, was his anger justified because that secret was held for almost half a year or half a year, and even though the two of you were separated, you were still
Well, we don't know at this point.
in the eyes of God and the land, unified to your kids, unified, still co-parenting.
Yeah,
That's the question.
yeah. Because at this point, as far as I know, they're together.
Right.
They're married.
That's why I said in the eyes of your children, their children, you guys,
Mm-hmm.
they're still together. So
when I forgot, yes, we are still married when one of us dies.
Right.
According to the word.
Right.
Which I didn't know until afterwards. But was it? Yeah. Okay. Now, like you said, if I had gone to the pre-counseling, that would have all been, understood. But was it justified? Probably not. I don't think so. Not to that extreme. No.
So
Not to that extreme.
some anger was justified, but it was carried above and beyond what should have been. Okay.
Yes.
Well, you can't quantify someone's expression when they're hurt.
No, you cannot.
So that's.
But again, we're asking your mother her opinion.
Yeah, that's
so...
true. And that's why we're having this dialogue. You can't justify someone's expression when they're hurt. Like, just like when things happen to people in the past, in their past relationships, they have such a wall up, but you can't get upset that they have a wall up because of their reaction to what something happens. Yeah, because they have their wall up.
That's true.
They're not really ready to knock the wall down and just be like, okay, here it is.
Right.
Sometimes you gotta take it down brick by brick.
Right, and be vulnerable. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. You got to do it in time, because I want to get the fear of being hurt again due to past experiences. Mm-hmm. So yes, you will have your guard up to an extent. Is this when you feel comfortable, you'll let that guard down and be vulnerable, mm-hmm. to allow yourself to, be comfortable with that person.
Right.
And yeah, you're right. You can't let past experiences, because you will block your blessing if you do.
Yeah. So I guess you could say in that moment, his response, was it something you've never like seen before? Because you said it got too far to where you felt it was time to end it because his response.
I didn't say it was time for me to end it. It was time that he had ended it. You know, because it was the words that was given to me.
Mm-hmm.
That he was upset and he knew, and that's it. You're not welcome here no more. I mean, stuff like that. It went that far.
Mm-hmm. Because trust at that point had been broken.
Well, it probably was broken before that, the trust.
Mm-hmm. So that would be like, what do they call the last last
The
straw
last straw, the camel.
that broke the camel's back?
Yeah, the last straw. Yeah.
Okay.
Break the camel's back.
Now you said trust had been broken before that, and how? In what way?
I don't quite remember it, but I think it has something to do with one of your brothers, that your father didn't trust me. And it was broken before that. Or was it after? Might have been after. I'm sorry. Got it twisted. I think it was after. After.
Okay. Okay.
I think we have a pretty good understanding of the beginning, the middle, and the end, as per what your mom said. As you said, you're now more knowledgeable, now more versed. Do you think that there was something, in the midst of those things that could have been done differently or handled differently?
Yes, I could have been more vocal and not be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
I did get beat up about that. During my little session like we're doing now, I had someone that I went to.
Right.
And she tore me up and told me, no, you shouldn't be doing that. It's my fault. Yeah, that was my fault, of keeping myself quiet.
Right.
Yeah, that I take full responsibility for that. That it could have gone a little differently. But when I did speak up, it didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a D if I do and D if I don't situation.
Okay.
But I have learned from that now, though.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yes.
marriage,
Learn from your mistakes.
and in a marriage, when you get to divorce, it affects not only the two people who have been married for 84 days, 90 days, or 22, 21 years. So it affects also the kids as well. So you having to see and witness me in particular go before the public and express that I want my parents to be together. How did that make you feel? Not that I was going to bring you guys back together or anything like that, but how did that make you feel?
It made me feel sad because your child wants their parents together, but underlining all of that, just knowing that it wasn't going to happen, it was sad. It's sad because you wanted to give your child everything, every and anything.
Mm-hmm.
But if the relationship wasn't going to work, if you can't be in a relationship that's not going to work, even though the child wants it, because then it's not going to be good for the child in the long run.
Right.
So it was best to, separate.
Okay.
It's a double-edged sword.
For the good of the child, if that makes any sense. Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword because you gotta do what makes you happy, have your peace of mind, because you can't go any further. But also the kids and their reaction and their relationships and their trust with other women and everything has now taken a hit. just to say it, can't even quantify it, that it takes a huge hit. So
Yes. Yes. I wish I was a forward thinker, thinking of now, back then. You know what I'm saying? Like I did when raising you guys for school. I didn't just prepare you for that grade. I prepare you for 2 grades ahead. So with this relationship part, I wish I had thought of that, you know, ahead with relationships.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I didn't.
yeah,
It's a learning,
yeah, it's a learning thing.
Yeah.
learning process.
And the good thing is, even though you do, like, your guys' divorce hit me hard, it ended one relationship and put me in a position to where I'm not about to deal with this in another relationship, because it seemed like there were some insecurities there. So it's just like, nah, I didn't want to continue to fight. Let me just cut my losses. And then it's led to, skipping over that one, led to this one, to where, well, I'm just trying to, well,
how did it affect the other one?
The other relationship, the third one, I guess you could call it was a turning point. So I always say with the first one, it opened up the word love, because never hearing it in the household. I was a mama's boy. She ain't never say it. So it opened my door up to it. The other one, I didn't want to deal with. I just whatever. You affected my trust now, because at that point, I'm hearing things that happened between my parents.
Mm-hmm.
And so you didn't tell me this, and then your mama was supposed to tell me. That just broke the trust, because regardless, I had hope that there would be change, that we'll be able to make amends and we'll be able to get back together. But I could see at that moment in time that, oh, she'll even keep things from me, so I can't trust you. So second relationship, trust was broken, so I'm like, nah, forget it, just like my dad did. See, even though I'm older, I'm still looking to my parents to see what it is that they're doing, so I know how to conduct myself in my own life and when different things happen. Third relationship, strong connection, but taught me how to fight for a relationship, how to fight for love, because Achilles is born and going through all of that stuff.
So in the third relationship, you learned from what happened with your parents to try and do better and not just give up like you did in the second one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So now,
That's good.
Now with Q here, this one, she's getting a culmination. She's getting a mixture of, she's getting the rainbow, everything. Inadequacy, vulnerability, depression, she's getting it all, but through communication, because it seemed like you guys learned a lot of effective communication, in the sense that you guys are actually listening to each other, even without biblical backing or founding on the marriage, it could still work if there's effective communication, like you're really hearing what your partner is saying and doing your best to please your partner. So a lot of people do that, but not realizing that's founded on the Bible. But it's okay. So it's all there. It was written before y'all even got together and got married. So it kind of beats you to the punch.
Yeah.
So it's a biblical principle in a marriage to make sure you're pleasing your partner, your spouse, your husband, your wife. So the good thing is she has the patience to take down the wall brick by brick, and as that happens, I communicate a little bit more. Therefore, her ears and eyes are actually open in a non-judgmental way, but in a supportive way.
That's very good. That's a blessing. That is a blessing. to have someone to listen to you in a non-instrumental way.
Yes.
Yes, the key thing. Yeah, communication is the key in any relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
to
that's
not feel like anything is silly or crazy to ask or talk about. That's good.
mhm. Yeah, because
That's good. Whether it's good, bad, or indifferent.
yeah. So with me, I'm bringing on a lot. I'm bringing on a lot, pouring on some more. That and my discovery of it being okay with expressing my emotions. So because I'm a child in that, it could look like it's temper tantrums. So this is funny. Achilles is 4, and I'm learning from him how to express emotions because he's an emotional child. He will express himself to the fullest. So even with my child, I'm learning how, because he's expressing, but then I'm correcting. But the way in which I correct to calm him down is interesting because it's helping me at the same time. So that's how I'm learning from him how to express what it is I'm feeling or being comfortable. Just because he bold with it. He gonna express how you feel whenever you feel like it. I don't have the courage to do that. So in watching him during the times he's been with us, that in itself is taking down a brick from the wall. So coming on with all of that, having someone who's patient with me, what would you say? No, not advice. No. What would you say that you possibly brought on to the marriage but chose not to share, which probably caused like a disconnect between you guys actually coming together? Because if you guys were meant to be together, you guys would be together and there would be equal communication and exchange of everything from A to Z. But obviously there is a wall still up. So what would you say your wall is, if there was one, that kind of really prevented the connection from, to happening at that point?
That's a good question.
It would probably be, communication is good. And I probably did communicate, but once it wasn't received the way I wanted it, I probably pulled back. I became reserved, like, oh, maybe I shouldn't say anything because he's not gonna take it for value or take it to heart, or so that's probably that could be
so
it.
What was that rooted in?
Yeah, because like I'm saying, I'm talking about my past, and my past experiences are reasons why there's walls been up, but she's been patient enough to want to and be willing to tear the wall down to get to the root of it so we can still be connected.
That's probably the difference between me and your father. He didn't care. I shouldn't say that. Maybe he didn't know how to or care to figure out what was really wrong with me, or if there was something wrong with me.
And that's what
the reason why I wasn't communicating enough is because of the response that I was given.
So from your history, not with Mr. Wilson, but prior to him, was there anything in a past relationship that you carried into the marriage that could have stopped you from having effective communication?
Or childhood? Because this is the hot seat. So now we get into the hot topics, the hot questions.
No.
So when you communicated with him, you didn't like something or something like that, and he shut you down. That was your first experience, and after that experience, you're like, well, I'm just... Was that pretty much how it happened?
Yeah, everything pretty much. Or I would, I never remember one incident that I was folding towels. I couldn't even fold towels right. That was argument. Yeah. Like I said at the beginning, it doesn't matter how it gets done, as long as it gets done. That was argument. Everything, yeah, everything I did. So that, I guess you can say that was the beginning, because I remember the apartment when that happened. So yeah, it was a um, long process, a long decline of process.
Okay.
Okay.
You know, that came to me being quiet.
Okay. So you guys went to the
That's
separation. You guys are at divorce now. So we've had conversations with other people and with her mom in which separation happened, divorce happened, but there was still, I guess you can call it forgiveness. In accordance to the Bible, you come back together, you have your conversation, you do what you got to do. You guys are on equal grounds, you understand. But whenever there's a bring together for kids, whatever the case may be, there isn't no resentment. There's communication there. There's active communication. There isn't no issue. The divorce happened. What's the word? Amicably.
Amicably.
There you go. So with you guys, why is that not possible?
Okay, so first, do you feel that you guys had an amicable divorce? We're going to start with
no.
first. Okay.
No.
So in not having an amicable divorce, are you guys still at an uneasy space when it comes to communication about anything? Kids, grandkids?
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
yeah.
Why do you think you guys are still at a point where you cannot communicate, even if it's about?
You will have to ask his father that question. You will have to ask Mr. Wilson that question, which you probably have already done so, because I have reached out. I mean, many times, especially when I see him, I would speak. He wouldn't speak back. He will be right next to his sons and still don't speak.
Mm-hmm.
Act. What's that word y'all use now? Ghosted. Yeah. That's how it feels.
Okay.
I didn't do nothing all this time. Yeah. It's still the same. You would have to ask him, because many times I have spoke, but no return response.
So would you say that you personally, at least, just on you, focus on you, would you say that you personally have made your amends, your forgiveness, and found peace and resolution for yourself?
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes, I have. Yes, I have. Even with him, too. I even told him that I apologize for what I did or didn't do, should or shouldn't, would or wouldn't have. I did all of that. My response was, he was fine. He didn't need to apologize to anybody. He did everything right. Right then I knew it was not going to work. And I was doing the separation.
Okay.
Okay. No, I can't quote it exactly, but that's good to find the inner peace. But in accordance to the Bible, there still needs to be a come together. So there's a peace between two people.
What is it?
I forgot what it is.
And almost everybody in every state, every pastor, minister, deacon has been talking about the scripture.
Yeah. And
I can't think of it either, but where it talks about where God tells you that if you have a problem with your brother, but you're at the altar to leave an offering, you're offering at the altar and go make amends with your brother for reconciliation.
Same thing with communion.
Yeah.
You know,
Reverend Williams said that.
Yeah, I can't think of the scripture.
Reverend Williams said that.
And that is obviously Village, a very probably poor paraphrase on my part, but it has that's the gist of it. So
because it has something to do with having the ability to find someone new, because otherwise you're going against what the Bible is saying
Right.
when it comes to your ability to connect and become one flesh with someone else.
Right.
You gotta
Right.
have that. You gotta have that come together. So, when do you think that's gonna happen?
I don't know.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know when that's going to happen. I mean, I don't even know if it will happen.
What happened?
But if it doesn't happen, I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm good. But I do know when I was moved from Indio to LA, your father did want to try to talk to me. What for? I don't know. But it never came to pass. So
do you ever see yourself in the future going down a committed relationship, possible remarriage?
Because your sons want to see
yes.
you guys happy.
Okay.
We want to see both our parents.
Your sons want to.
I said, me and my brothers, we want to see you happy. We want to see our parents happy. So is that something that's in the future to happen? Because as much as we do want it to happen, still gotta have that conversation though with my dad, so you guys are able to do it the right way.
Biblically.
Do what the right way? The next relationship, is that what you're referring to?
You pretty much finish the unfinished business before you have new business.
Well, I already finished the unfinished business. But I understand what you're saying. You want us to have a conversation and close it. But hey, it's been almost 10 years. Isn't that?
Okay. 10 years is quite some time, but you still have time while there's breath in your body. But I guess we're going to have to leave that at, we're all just going to have to pray on it and leave it in God's hands.
You got to give it to God for that one.
Yeah,
right.
Allow that to happen.
Yeah. But to get back to the question though, next relationship, remarriage.
She said yes.
Yes. I said yes.
Oh,
yes.
Maybe because I'm still in there and I don't want to hear that because I want my parents together. Maybe I didn't hear it.
Silliness.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. I was just gonna say, is that being practiced?
What do you mean practice?
like you practice, you know what I mean? You practice it on another relationship.
And we're practicing on another relationship.
So basically you want to know if your mom is dating?
Pretty much.
Oh, is that what you just want to know?
Yeah. And how much of the dating is happening?
I tell you, my sons get me tickled when they ask me this question.
Silly.
Yes, I am talking to someone right now. Yes.
There you go.
But you're not.
I have a friend.
One person.
Huh?
One person?
Yes.
Y'all practicing? Which
she
one
said
is
she
it?
is talking to one person
I'm
right
trying
now.
to make it plain. I'm being a son right now. Forget hosting the hot seat. Did you practice?
Wait a minute. You can be the son on the side of this, not right now.
So, thank you for those answers. Our last thing, everybody, is just ask for words of wisdom and encouragement so that we continue to have a long-standing, effective, God-fearing marriage.
Happy.
Okay. Well, we already touched on some of them, like communication. Keep the communication going. Be honest. Be truthful to each other. listen to each other. Also, when, as this is for you, son, when we as women, we do sometimes nag a little bit, but don't let that nagging, which I'm gonna change the word to whisper. Don't let that whisper be a yell. Get it when it's whispering to you before it explodes. You get what I'm saying?
I think you might need to run that back.
Yeah.
Use a couple different words. Because I
Don't.
understand what
Oh,
you're saying.
I understand. Say it again for the viewers in layman's terms.
Don't let the whisper be a yell. Get it when she's whispering to you. Because when it's yelling, the whole entire situation or that thing is become bigger than what it was initially.
Mm-hmm.
So get it when it's a whisper and not when it's a yell.
Whisper, not a yell.
Gotcha.
Yes.
And so for all the women out there, be patient.
Got it?
Man.
That's why we're whispering. When we get to yelling, patience has been exhausted.
No, you gotta inject. You gotta get that needle, inject some more patience, because men face many challenges throughout the day.
And women just sit.
It's
look
like
pretty.
it's nearly systematic for men to act a certain way and be a certain way. Especially men of minority. You're pretty much built. You're entered into the world already in a small space. Four walls are already around you. So it's not just, well, I didn't tell them 100 times. Well, you done got one side of the wall down. You got 3 more to go. Like, just to put that in perspective, because there's a lot of things we're not going to get into, because then this would be a 3-hour episode. But there's a lot of things that men face.
Yeah.
Why, when God puts that person in your life for you, she's already in the knowledge of what it is that you have to deal with, because God has made sure she has the strength to deal with you. So vulnerability is okay. Just let it all hang out. And if God put her there for you, y'all will see it until the end of your time.
Right. Right. Because we are made from a rib from you guys. So we got double strength.
Yes. We weaken the knees and we can hardly breathe.
Yeah.
So we need y'all to make sure y'all can take control.
Yes, that's why the Lord made the woman to carry the child, because y'all can't do that.
Yeah, you just stole the rib from us.
That makes us, right. He took the rib from you to make us. So that makes us doubly strong. Wonderfully made.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so very much for being open and honest.
Transparent.
And your connection with this whole story. We appreciate it. We're hoping that thank you. We're hoping that this helps somebody who may be at a point just hearing this information, turn from that point and try and fight a little longer, a little harder.
Yeah. And then use the information shared to make sure you put yourself in a better position. And hopefully it was healing for you, mother, having to talk about this. Hopefully it's bringing you one step closer to
it's actually
get it off your chest. You know, we just whatever. just hopefully it's a place this was of healing for you as well.
Right. Hopefully.
Yes. It is. I mean, it's the first time I openly said it this way, besides talking to you and your brothers. But yeah, it's good. I'm good. I'm
Good.
stronger and wiser.
Good.
So
All
much
good things.
better, because I never would have made it without you.
And that is my song.
Thank
Y'all
you.
just don't know.
All right, Village. We'll see you guys next week.
See ya.